Well, you're coming up on a year of doing the show.
Yeah, this is month 11.
Yeah, this is month 11. So yeah, next month will be our big year anniversary, and we're excited for that. We're not sure exactly what we know who we're gonna have on, but we don't really know what we're gonna do with it yet. We have the rock band Six Shakes. We have Ahmed Brosha. I'm probably not pronouncing that right. And we have Andy O'Fish, and I'm probably not pronouncing that. I know.
And of course, we always have the comedy music stylings of MC Mr. Napkins.
Every month.
Who, if you don't know, you will soon, because the man is a genius. MC Mr. Napkins. MySpace.com/MC Mr. Napkins.
How has the show sort of grown in that past year? It seems like it takes a lot of commitment to get people to come out to the show.
Yeah, it does. I mean,
the first few months were kind of rough. Like, it was tough to get a crowd out. The crowd that typically comes to OBriens is not necessarily receptive to a comedy show right off the bat. But that really only lasted for a couple months. And the last probably 6 or 7 have been terrific. We've got a great crowd and like very receptive crowd, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I think I feel confident about the show. I think it's a great show. We put the show together because it's a show that we wanted to see. It's comedy, it's music, and it's other variety stuff too. I mean, like last month we had the comic artist Prince on, who's not a traditional comic or a music act, and we're looking to do more stuff like that. And it's just I don't know. It's a little bit. It's something that's a little bit different, and something that's a little bit. I think it's fun. It's the show. If someone else was doing the show, I would go to it. So that's why we put the show
together. Try to mix it up as much as possible. And Rob won't sort of say this about himself. I mean, he will say other things about himself. He's fine with self-promotion. But what he won't say is that the reason that this show has been successful to a certain extent is that Rob hails from sort of the independent music scene around here. So as a result, has like an incredible amount of connections. So there is this sort of synergy going on between both the local music and the local comedy that we're hoping to sort of fuse and get to come together a little bit more as far as acts and stuff.
It's just for me, having been in the music scene for so long, it's sometimes you go out to do a rock show and it's like after the second band you're like, all right, enough rock, I'm sick of the rock. And then going into the comedy scene, sometimes you have a comedy show and you're like, all right, I get it, comedy.
Another person.
As Frank Zappa once said, "Must we rock?" Yeah,
exactly. But kind of smashing the two together, you break it up and just make it a little bit more. It's a variety to the night.
As a result, you sort of appeal to different people who maybe would come out for a rock show but not a comedy show, or vice versa.
Right.
And as a result, they wind up sort of enjoying both.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like an exercise in scene building. Is that something that you're conscious of? That's
exactly what we're conscious. I mean, that's like really our goal. Like Luke is extremely funny. I'm not that funny, but I know, like having gone sort of into the comedy scene in Boston, I know that there are so many amazing people, and I just feel like, with music, there are bands in Boston that kind of, even if you're not like a music nerd, about it, and I want that, I want people who aren't like comedy nerds, who live in New England, to know who Josh Gondelman is. Like I want them to, I want Josh Gondelman to be like a household name in New England.
Yeah, there are a number of guys like that. And that's
just one.
There are even folks that sort of have some, they've been on Last Comic Standing, or they've been on Conan O'Brien's show, and still they're not sort of names that get recognized in this area. And so we're lucky enough to have some of those folks that do our shows, and we feel pretty honored that they do.
Yeah.
As a result, we're trying to do our part as far as getting people out here and building their families.
Yeah, I mean, it's just to me what we do at the end of the day, it really is we're promoting the comedy scene in Boston, because there's such a great comedy scene, but I feel like no one knows about it. Like there's so much great stuff going on, but
which is a good segue actually to talk about next vlog, which is amazing.
Yeah,
that's what this will be appearing on.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, I guess we don't really.
Yeah. So it's like you're watching.
If you're watching this,
I'm just
like this whole Matrix thing.
Because it's the first sort of attempt at centralizing all of this disparate sort of comedy acts around town and sort of fusing, putting them into one.
There's so many great people. Robbie Rhodes, Seymour, Cox, I mean, there's just so many like great people doing so much great stuff, and it's just a matter of getting it to people to let them know about it. Because and I know we get like the alternative comedy label a lot, and people are always ask us like, what's the difference between alternative comedy and regular comedy. And
I
I always
just do
say
less laundry.
we do less laundry. That's true. But I always kind of say it's the venues. I mean, we play at rock venues. There's not seats. There's not, you know, it's just the venues. But everything that we're showing, even though we're like an alternative comedy group, we're promoting alternative comedy shows. Comedy, it's not like you're gonna like come and watch like an hour of Che Guevara jokes. Like it's like really like pretty standard comedy.
3-4 minutes tops.
Yeah, 3-4 minutes.
Did you hear the new Arcade Fire album?
Yeah, yeah.
And then the one Che Guevara impersonator.
Yeah.
One's enough.
Well, I need to shave a little, like just right here to get that. But you know, I mean, it's just it's alternative comedy because we're promoting it in a different way. But it's just comedy. It's just stuff that's funny. You know? And I mean, maybe some comedians say that they feel like they can be like a little bit looser with the audience and kind of like push the envelope a little bit more with audiences, but they're the same comics you'd see if you went to a regular comedy club, except for you'd be paying less money and
significantly
a lot less money. There would be a drink minimum, and you know, on the minus side, you won't be able to sit down.
That's true.
So
you need strong gams.
Yeah, you need
to attend our shows.
And where can people find out more?
They can find out more at AndersonComedy.com. That's our website.
AndersonComedy.com.
And your local library.
Yeah, look that up at the library or wherever. You know, we're on the Facebook, we're on the MySpace.
All of these.
We're on the MySpace, we're on all of those, as Luke's mom says.
I'll bring my mom.
And that seems like an appropriate place to
right. And
stop.
One last thing about Luke's mom. Vote for her for Eastern Massachusetts
not even
School Board the next election. She does a great job.
Actually, as in like in November of this year.
I think it's next
the elections are actually in the spring, and she's not even running. You really? Did you have to? Okay. Thank you so much.
If Luke's mom's running, vote for her. She's great. Look at what she produced.
Yes, she is. You want to? What's your mom's name so we know? Because it doesn't have to be the same name.
She is a dedicated member of the Eastern Committee. She's been on the board for about 15 years at this point.
Just a shining member of the community. We went to high school together, so.
And do you have any preferences for selectmen as well, or is there anybody else?
I would say Carla Goodwin. Apart from that, just do what you feel. Vote your conscience.
That's a good way to vote. Just whatever you feel.
Absolutely.
I like two vowels together, so that's who I'm going to vote for.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.